Boom. The pendulum of life always swings. And this is a lesson that, I really had to embody recently. Because for me, guys, I was on the most legendary 6-month period of my entire life. Like, to be fair, 2025 was actually the greatest period of my life I've ever experienced. And it's not even over yet. But one thing I have to say is that just as the earth goes through seasons, just as, right now, if you're in the northern hemisphere, if you're in a place where it is cold, just as everything dies and comes back to life again, only to have a great summer, us as humans go through this same pendulum swing. Now, this is a part of life, okay, guys? And this is what I needed to remind myself, is that no matter the techniques, no matter the mindset, no matter the manifestation principles, and no matter the frequency you're carrying, and also no matter the semen retention streak you're on or anything that you're doing, the universe will come and knock you down every once in a while. So what I've started to realize is that the universe will come and knock you down as the pendulum swings. You cannot get into a state in your life where you genuinely start taking massive steps backwards when these pendulum swings happen, because God knows these things are going to come. These pendulum swings are going to happen, and God knows that you likely have some form of spiritual ego. This is where I wanted to take today's video, because me, myself, it's 100% there, okay? Like, my spiritual ego, and I'm sure some of you out there can relate, thinks that, oh my God, as soon as the pendulum starts swinging to good things happening, as soon as the pendulum starts swinging that way, I start thinking, wow, look at what I did. Look at the work I started to put in. Your mind starts to try to find the little points where you made the correct moves. Oh, well, I was practicing semen retention for this certain period of time. I was journaling. I was meditating. I was doing all of these things. So, of course, I deserve to experience all of these great things. But then, boom, the universe smacks you. And there's no real way to explain it. And so, you have to come to the reality that the pendulum always swings. And I don't want to tell you guys to not get excited about when life is treating you well, because it is exciting. When things are going great, when you get an opportunity to solo travel the world for 6 months like I did, you enjoy it. But what I do want to say is that in order for you to keep a more of a balanced pendulum swing, overreacting emotionally to seeing your reality change sort of, in a way, signals to the universe that maybe this lesson needs to be taught some more. Whereas one who is sort of grounded in their emotional feeling, understanding that the pendulum always swings, even if things are going really, really good right now, maybe I shouldn't get too over the top excited about my life right now, because in a way I know that the pendulum swings and there may be things on the way that knock me down a little. Or at the same time, a person who is experiencing the low and the pendulum has swung the opposite direction. That's me right now. Maybe that person could incorporate an emotional balance between understanding that this is a temporary pendulum swing and there's no real reason to lose that equilibrium and start to panic or start to stress out a lot or start to feel these negative emotions, because when you slip into the shame, the guilt, the anger, all of these emotions that lead you to a lower frequency, to a lower place. It's not the place that you want to be. And in fact, 10 out of 10 times in my life, actually, the greatest periods of my life, the most interesting stories, the most sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? The most inspiring periods of my life was never when things were going great. It was never about all the fun times. Yeah, sure, like I'll never forget some amazing fun times where life was going great for me and everything was working out. But what I have to say is that the times that really stick with me are the times where I was getting rocked. I was getting beaten down. I was in a depressed, dark period where nothing was working. But guess what happened? I made it out. I made it out of those times every single time to see another day. I made it out of those times every time to the pendulum swinging again, to great things happening, and to abundance every time, without fail. So this is a beautiful lesson that I'm learning right now. And, you know, I do feel like I've talked about this message in prior videos, which in a way is a little bit hilarious if you guys have been following me for a specific amount of time, because maybe you're starting to realize that a lot of the lessons I'm talking about in these videos are lessons that are happening in my own life. And guess what? The same topics keep coming up maybe a year or so later. Same topic. So guys, take the advice from me when I tell you that these cyclical cycles keep repeating. Realize that there's probably something in your life that is being shown to you in a cyclical pattern, and potentially some lesson that the universe is wanting you to truly experience that keeps presenting itself, that you may need to do the real shadow work to truly see what is being shown to you. So, whatever pattern that you intuitively feel like is repeating, this could be similar people coming into your life to teach you something. This could be a similar pattern behind seasonal feeling low. This could be a pattern around employment. This could be a pattern around multitude of things, man. If something is repeating in your life, it's likely that a lesson is being shown to you that maybe you're not quite understanding yet. Maybe you haven't actually moved past whatever it is that is trying to be shown. And I've been journaling a lot lately, guys, and I advise you to write down where you stand, what you are confronting, what you are working on, what you are growing towards, how you're feeling, because keeping a log, keeping a status report on your life and what's happening, the patterns you're engaging in is going to be super valuable for you to actually notice the real cyclical shadow work that needs to be done. So, all in all, I think ultimately there's nothing you can do to mess up. I don't want to tell you all of these things to tell you like you need to watch for the cycles and you need to do the introspection and you need to do the shadow work. Otherwise, you're just going to keep repeating the same patterns. Like, don't get so caught up in like, well, what is the pattern? Like, I'm just going to keep following the same cycle. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can't do anything to mess anything up, okay? No part of you making a mistake or being a failure is going to have any effect on anything, okay? And if you fear these things, if you fear messing up, if you fear the failure, that's a lesson within itself. So, all in all, it's all in divine timing. There's nothing you can do to make a mistake. But it is valuable to look at these patterns, and it is valuable to see sort of where this cycle keeps repeating, because there's a lesson trying to be shown. So hopefully this message finds the right ears. Peace.